Today was clearly supposed to be the day of my grand wedding, with Lu Nguyen. And yet, the ceremony was already nearing its end, and I still hadn't appeared. Strangely enough, no one at the venue seemed even the slightest bit worried. The groom standing on the stage had long since been replaced by Lu Nguyen's first love. Just as the two of them were about to exchange rings, the wedding venue was suddenly surrounded by police. The groom was taken away in a police car. Only then did Lu Nguyen finally think of contacting me. What she didn't know was that I was already far away. Lu Nguyen, you loved me for 6 years. You talked about marriage with me. And then, out of nowhere, you suddenly asked me to wait. You said you needed to hold a grand wedding with your first love before you could marry me. Because it was his mother's final wish. His mother was terminally ill. You said you couldn't let her pass away with regrets. At her hospital bedside, you cried and promised to give your first love a family. But you forgot one thing. My mother had also been hoping for me to get married for a very long time. Still reeling in shock, I asked you what I was supposed to do. You lost patience immediately and scolded me, asking whether I could have even a little empathy. It's just 2 more months, you said. I told you my mother had a heart condition and couldn't handle such a shock. But you booked the marriage registration appointment right in front of me and said that even if my mother couldn't hold on and passed away, she would still have to wait until you married me first. Watching your resolute back as you walked away, I called home. The wedding is in 10 days. Help me change the bride. My sister was stunned when she heard I wanted to change the bride. You and Lu Nguyen, what happened? Marriage isn't a joke. Mom won't be able to take this shock. Precisely because I knew Mom couldn't take it, I came to her for help. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, during the 6 years we were together, Lu Nguyen had always refused to meet my family. My mother only knew I had a girlfriend, but didn't know who she was. I'm serious, I said. I can't marry her anymore. I had thought my sister would scold me for being reckless. Instead, she fell silent for a moment, then comforted me. From the beginning, she hid things from you. I warned you to be careful. If it weren't because you liked her, I would never have accepted her as my sworn sister. Now, this might actually be for the best. Then she told me something I hadn't expected. Before our parents knew I was in a relationship, they had already found a potential marriage partner for me, the very girl who always seemed to lose her soul whenever she saw me. She had been waiting for me to break up. Just a few days ago, she even joked that if my wife wasn't as good as her, she'd steal the groom right at the wedding. Only then did I remember her. My parents had mentioned her before, but at the time, I had already been in love with Lu Nguyen for 2 years, completely devoted to her. How could I agree to marry someone I didn't even know? Lu Nguyen had been extremely jealous back then. Whenever I hung up the phone, she would kiss me fiercely, asserting her ownership. To Thien Pham, in this lifetime, don't even think about marrying anyone but me. With reddened eyes, she begged me to grow old with her. In the end, she even took the initiative to confess everything to my sister. They had already made vows of eternal love. Even when my sister scolded her for being a terrible woman, she didn't argue back. My sister asked her whether she had truly let go of that man. Lu Nguyen immediately knelt down and swore to the heavens that she would only love me for the rest of her life. Life moved fast. 10 days later, it would be the wedding. Pressed for time, I interrupted my sister. Then let her be my bride. The moment my words fell, Lu Nguyen returned to get her ID. She pushed the door open and froze. Bride? She asked. You want to steal my bride? She looked at me as if facing a mortal enemy. To Thien Pham, I said I would marry you. And I will marry you. If you want to marry me, then stop making trouble. If you dare to steal the bride and ruin my wedding with So Hin Kiem, don't blame me for turning my back on you. Before I could even do anything, she had already painted me as the villain. When she asked me to wait while she held a wedding with So Hin Kiem, hadn't she already turned her back on me? For 6 years, every birthday, she promised that we would get married the following year. And every year, the following year came with new excuses. She wouldn't meet my parents. She delayed the wedding. I'm still young. I don't want to be tied down by marriage. I want my career to stabilize first, so I can help your family's business later. Every reason was supposedly for my sake. Because I loved her, I believed her completely. I even kept placating my sister, who had long wanted to slap her. 6 years passed. Friends joked that if we didn't get married soon, we'd enter the so-called 7-year itch. Finally, she agreed to my 10th proposal. The wedding date was set. The ceremony was prepared. Yet she still refused to meet my parents, saying she wanted to give them a big surprise on the wedding day. Not long after that, So Hin Kiem returned to the country with his critically ill mother. Only then did I realize, I was nothing but a joke. I laughed at myself. I took Lu Nguyen's ID from the drawer and handed it to her. Relax, I have no interest in another man's wife. Those words seemed to wound her. How many times do I have to explain before you understand? This is just a fake wedding, she said. In the end, everything will be yours. Aren't you satisfied? I understood what she meant. Go ahead, I said calmly. Register the marriage. If you're acting, at least act it through. The sincerity in my expression made her hand tremble as she took the ID. She looked uneasy. I won't actually register with So Hin Kiem, she explained. It's just a formality. A formality still requires an ID. I replied indifferently. Oh. My indifference left her momentarily dazed. She stepped forward, trying to kiss me to comfort me. I didn't know how long she had been listening, but suddenly, So Hin Kiem rushed out from the corner of the room and shoved himself between us. The movement was so forceful that I was pushed to the ground. He pulled Lu Nguyen with him, and she nearly fell into his arms. She screamed in fear, shouting that she would call the police. The two of them were tangled together, completely out of control, and fell backward onto the floor. I watched coldly as Lu Nguyen ended up sitting on So Hin Kiem. His face was flushed red, his voice hoarse. Nguyen, you're hurting me. She blushed, smiled softly, and placed her hand on his abdomen, refusing to move it away. So Hin Kiem looked at her with unmistakable affection, then turned to me with feigned helplessness. I'm sorry, to Thien Pham, you can hit me or scold me if you want. But please don't let Nguyen get hurt. What if she fell and got injured? I couldn't bear to look at the disgusting sight of the two of them clinging together any longer. I stood up and walked out. Whether you're hurt or not, check yourselves. Do you need me to close the door for you? Those words instantly wiped the affection from Lu Nguyen's face. She didn't know whether she was embarrassed or furious. To Thien Pham, how can you be so despicable? Despicable? She was sitting on another man and refusing to get up. Who was the despicable one? I thoughtfully closed the door for them. While waiting for the elevator, So Hin Kiem ran after me, tears still clinging to his face. To Thien Pham, I'm sorry, don't misunderstand. What just happened between Nguyen and me was really just an accident. If it weren't because my mother wouldn't be at ease, if she didn't see the marriage certificate, I wouldn't disturb Nguyen either. I beg you, choose filial piety, don't cause trouble at the wedding. When the time is right, I'll divorce Nguyen and give her back to you. As he spoke, he was about to kneel down and beg me. Lu Nguyen, who had just regained her composure, rushed over immediately and pulled him up. She stared at me with burning anger. To Thien Pham, I warn you, don't take this too far. From today until the wedding is over, you will stay obediently at home. I'll arrange for a bodyguard to watch you. After saying that, she immediately called her secretary and sent someone to keep me under surveillance. Afraid I might cause trouble. She glanced at the time and hurriedly took So Hin Kiem to register the marriage. As the elevator doors closed, I didn't miss the smugness and provocation in So Hin Kiem's eyes. Nor did I miss Lu Nguyen's final question. Did you bring your ID? Clearly, they weren't acting for So Hin Kiam's mother at all. They were acting for me. Taking advantage of the fact that the bodyguards they sent hadn't arrived yet, I hurriedly drove to the bridal shop to pick up the wedding dress. That dress was custom made by hand. I had personally designed it for Lu Nguyen. Recently, she had lost weight, so the dress needed a slight alteration. There was no way she would marry someone else and still wear the dress I had ordered. That made no sense. But to my shock, the shop owner said in surprise, "2. Your girlfriend came to pick up the wedding dress a few days ago. She even brought a man with her to try it on." I hadn't been in the shop that day. Seeing my expression darken, the owner immediately checked the security footage. In the video, Lu Nguyen was wearing the wedding dress I had custom made. She slowly walked towards So Hin Kiam, who stared at her in stunned amazement. "Hin Kiam, do I look good?" she asked. She smiled, a smile I had never seen before. So Hin Kiam's infatuation was unmistakable. "Beautiful," he said hoarsely, "even more beautiful than in my dreams." "Pinch yourself." Lu Nguyen laughed softly. "See if this is a dream or not. All these years, you could only marry me in your dreams." As she spoke, his voice choked up. Moved, she tiptoed up and kissed away the tears on his face. "Idiot," she whispered, "good thing you came back in time. Otherwise, I would have married someone else." The shop owner looked at the intimate scene on the screen, visibly embarrassed. "2. I'm so sorry. This is our staff's mistake. Let me find a way to get the wedding dress back for you." Everyone knew I had been betrayed. And even my wedding dress had been stolen. Furious, the owner immediately called Lu Nguyen. But before he could finish his sentence, she snapped angrily, "Did Tathin Pham tell you to take the dress back? Tell him I'm wearing this dress to marry him. Stop making trouble over nothing." I never imagined Lu Nguyen could be this shameless. Why did she still believe I would marry her? After the call ended, the shop owner awkwardly offered compensation. Whoever caused this should bear the responsibility. I immediately sent screenshots of the wedding dress order to Lu Nguyen. Her phone rang instantly. "Tathin Pham, what do you mean?" she demanded. "I wore the wedding dress you ordered. Are you asking me to pay you back? I even let him try it on once. Don't you think that's worth the money?" On the other end, So Hin Kiam suddenly said he wanted to keep the dress as a souvenir. Without hesitation, Lu Nguyen hung up and transferred the money to me. "Hurry and find the owner to custom make another wedding dress for me," she said. "It has to be more beautiful than this one. Otherwise, I won't marry you." After 6 years of love, this was the first time I realized I had never truly understood Lu Nguyen. Seeing her location marked at the Civil Affairs Bureau, I thought I would feel heartbroken. But in reality, I felt nothing at all. I turned off the location sharing on our couple's app. Secretary Trong soon arrived with 2 bodyguards. "As long as you don't cause trouble, we won't interfere with your movements," he said politely. The man who once treated me warmly now spoke in empty formalities. His eyes filled with contempt. I couldn't be bothered to speak to someone like that. I went to the company, completed my resignation procedures, then drove home. But the automatic sensor at the parking garage failed to recognize my car. Security checked the system and said my parking space had already been reassigned to another vehicle. I scanned the code to enter the garage and saw a brand new car parked in my spot. It was the car Lu Nguyen had said she would give me as a birthday present 2 months ago. But the person who stepped out of the car was So Hin Kiam. The moment he saw me, he pretended not to notice, deliberately waving the red marriage certificate in his hand. "Nguyen," he said loudly, "once the Civil Affairs Bureau opens tomorrow, I'll apply for a divorce. That way, it won't delay your marriage to Tathin Pham." The red marriage certificate was blinding. Lu Nguyen pinched his cheek affectionately. "Idiot, why are you in such a hurry?" she coaxed. "Tathin Pham will only ever marry me, even if I make him wait another 10 or 8 years. He'll still be willing. I watched their backs as they walked away. I decided to rent a hotel room temporarily. Even in my distress, I still went to the nearby park for my usual run. After finishing one lap, I ran into Lu Nguyen and So Hin Kiem. The two of them had never liked jogging at night. Their fingers were interlaced. Lu Nguyen leaned against So Hin Kiem like a small bird, whispering sweet words. I had no interest in listening. I put on my headphones and walked in the opposite direction. Without realizing I was being followed, I was injected with anesthetic. My mouth was covered. I was dragged into a car. I struggled with all my strength, but the other person locked my neck, refusing to let go. In the reflection of the car window, I saw a face that resembled So Hin Kiem by 70%. You dare to compete with my son for a woman? He snarled. You deserve to die. I waved desperately toward Secretary Trong in the distance. But he pretended not to see me, answered a phone call, and walked away with the two bodyguards. The woman behind me had terrifying strength, nothing like someone suffering from a terminal illness. When I woke up, my whole body was weak. So Hin Kiem's mother lay in a pool of blood, her face deathly pale. Before I could understand what had happened, Lu Nguyen burst in with others. Seeing his mother like that, So Hin Kiem screamed in despair. Mom, what's wrong? Don't scare me. He hugged her tightly and roared at me. To Thien Pham, what did I do wrong for you to be this cruel? How could you hurt my mother like this? She doesn't have much time left. Lu Nguyen had hemophobia and didn't dare look at the pool of blood. But that didn't stop her from calling an ambulance. Or from kicking me hard in the chest. To Thien Pham, she said coldly, you've disappointed me too much. When she was about to call the police, So Hin Kiem stopped her. Nguyen, forget it, this is all my fault. I shouldn't have asked you for help. I just hope my mother will be safe. She turned her anger on Secretary Trong. Didn't I tell you to watch him? How did you let him cause trouble? Secretary Trong replied calmly, President Lu, To Thien Pham drove too fast. We couldn't keep up. Before loving Lu Nguyen, I loved street racing. Because of that, she didn't doubt him at all. Suppressing her irritation, she squatted down to comfort the nearly collapsing So Hin Kiem. Hin Kiem, Mom will be protected by heaven. She'll be fine. The woman on the ground fluttered her eyelashes slightly, but didn't dare open her eyes. Swallowing the blood in my throat, I said coldly, stop crying, otherwise, your mother won't be able to keep acting. So Hin Kiem picked up the blood-stained knife from the ground and lunged toward me. To Thien Pham, I'll give Nguyen back to you, won't that do? Why did you hurt my mother and slander her? Do you even have a conscience? Lu Nguyen snatched the knife away and held his trembling body. He looked at her in disbelief. He hurt my mother so badly, and you're still protecting him? His voice was bitter, each word dripping with blood. If I weren't the victim being framed as the perpetrator, even I would think the one who hurt his mother was unforgivably cruel. But what shocked me even more was that Lu Nguyen actually protected me. Under my confused gaze, she carefully wiped the blood from So Hin Kiem's hands. I just don't want to dirty your hands, she said slowly. Then she pushed him away and walked toward me step by step. Her lifeless gaze fell on me. Instinct screamed at me to run. But I had no strength left. Lu Nguyen, I said weakly, I didn't hurt his mother. They staged this themselves. If you don't believe me, you can investigate. She plunged the knife straight into the back of my hand. The pain made the blood I had swallowed surge back up. My blood splattered across her face. She looked like a demon crawling out of hell. And still mocked me. Why didn't you dodge? She had stabbed quickly and accurately. I had been drugged, completely powerless. How could I dodge? Love and the absence of love were painfully clear. In the past, if I stayed in bed and didn't want to get up, she would panic, afraid I was unwell, insisting on a full medical checkup. But now, She didn't see my weak struggle. She didn't see the bruises on my neck from being strangled. She personally stabbed me. To Thien Pham, she said coldly, "Don't blame me. This is your punishment. I hope you learn your lesson." Without verifying anything, she had already decided I was a vicious man capable of hurting others. The ambulance arrived quickly. But I was abandoned in the corner. Knife still in my hand. A kind stranger took me to the hospital. When I woke up, I decided to report it to the police. Lu Nguyen, who hadn't appeared once, finally came to the ward. Her first words were a demand. "Withdraw the report." To Thien Pham, "What exactly are you trying to do? Now both witnesses and evidence point to you. Are you insane? Withdraw the report immediately. Otherwise, I won't be able to marry someone with a criminal record." I didn't even bother to lift my head. "Got it," I replied flatly. Satisfied, she left without a word of concern. That night, I went home to pack. Only to find the door plastered with wedding characters. The lock code changed. I hired a locksmith, packed quickly, and rushed to the airport. Otherwise, I wouldn't make it to the wedding. When the plane landed, the police and my lawyer called to inform me of the latest developments in the case. I stared at the irrefutable evidence and sent Lu Nguyen a message. "Congratulations on your wedding." She glanced toward the entrance and instructed Secretary Trong to keep a close watch on every exit and not let Thien Pham come in to cause trouble. Secretary Trong glanced at the news headline, patted his chest, and reassured her confidently, "Director Lu, don't worry, he's busy getting married himself. There's no way he'll come here to make a scene." I authorized my lawyer to take full control of the kidnapping case and the charge of intentional assault, cases that Lu Nguyen had once forced me to withdraw by using her wedding as leverage. She probably never expected that someone like me, who had once humbled himself and obeyed her every word, would one day grow cold and resist. My lawyer told me the truth. The mother of So Hin Kiem was never terminally ill. The medical records were fake, purchased online. Even the pool of blood on the ground hadn't belonged to a human at all. She had staged everything just to make Lu Nguyen despise me. So she would devote herself wholeheartedly to marrying So Hin Kiem. That woman thought she was safe. She believed I had learned my lesson, abandoned by the person I loved most. Utterly defeated, and would have no strength left to fight back. She thought I would simply disappear. By coincidence, So Hin Kiem and I were in the same hospital. As I passed the emergency stairwell, I heard him anxiously say, "Nguyen, you really shouldn't have stabbed Thien Pham for my sake. What if he reports it to the police and says you injured him? What will we do then?" Lu Nguyen didn't care at all. Thien Pham loves me so much he'd give his life for me. How could he actually call the police? Unless he's gone crazy. And even if he really did report it, I'd have ways to make him withdraw the case. "Don't worry, just take good care of your mom. She can't miss the wedding, I'm still waiting to serve her tea." A few gentle words from Lu Nguyen were enough to make So Hin Kiem beam with joy. "Nguyen, you're so good to me. I don't even know how to repay you." Hearing my own ragged breathing, I quietly stopped the recording on my phone and left. A loud scream suddenly shattered my thoughts. My sister came running toward me, thrilled. "My baby, you're finally back. If you didn't come home, Ko Tonla was ready to fly a helicopter to High City and kidnap you." The person she said was going to kidnap me was none other than Ko Tonla herself. She naturally took my suitcase, smiled, and said, "Thien Pham, you finally agreed to marry me." She was wearing a wedding dress, radiant beyond words. Paired with that sentence, it drew countless curious stares from people passing through the airport. Feeling self-conscious, I lowered the brim of my cap slightly. But the smiles on Ko Tonli's face, and my sister's, froze when they noticed the bandage on the back of my hand. "What happened to your hand?" my sister asked sharply. I didn't want them to worry, so I brushed it off with an excuse. But my sister didn't believe me. I just heard you on the phone. You were talking to a lawyer, weren't you? Did Lu Nguyen hurt you? Her hostility toward Lu Nguyen had only grown deeper ever since that woman tried every possible way to take me from us. I glanced at Ko Tan-la, signaling her silently. Sis, don't worry, let's finish the wedding first. Otherwise Mom will start worrying again. My sister suppressed her anger and took me to the airport clinic. When the doctor removed the bandage, the swollen, reddened back of my hand was exposed. The doctor gasped. How did this happen? If it had gone just a little deeper, it would have pierced straight through. My sister and Ko Tan-la exchanged looks and insisted on taking me to the hospital. I used my mother as leverage to convince them I was fine. Only then did they reluctantly get into the wedding car and head to the hotel. Everything felt unreal. Ko Tan-la kept glancing at my injured hand with a complicated look, anger, regret, and pain intertwined. To Thien Pham, if only I had met you earlier. Back then, when things happened, I should have taken you away from her. Her sudden words snapped me out of my daze. She pointed at my hand. The injury you suffered, I'll make sure you get justice. The certainty in her voice told me I could no longer hide it. I'm sorry, I should have come back yesterday. But something unexpected happened and made everyone worry. Lu Nguyen hurt me, and I won't let it go so easily. Her wedding should be in complete chaos by now. I hope she enjoys the wedding gift I gave her. At the hotel, my sister went to meet our parents. Ko Tan-la took me to change clothes. If Mom finds out you're hurt this badly, she'll be heartbroken. On such a happy day, I don't want her to be sad. As the makeup artist worked on me, she chatted casually. Mr. Tu, you're really lucky. I heard the Ko family has been preparing for this wedding for a long time. I thought of Ko Tan-lee's dreamlike wedding dress. Its history probably went back even further than mine. I had secretly wondered before, had Ko Tan-la really been preparing all this long in advance? Just waiting to marry me? She knocked and came in, holding a pair of white gloves. That only confirmed my suspicion. Her eyes were glowing as she looked at me. To Thien Pham, wear these, that way, your mom won't notice. Her thoughtfulness warmed my heart. Everything was ready. To the romantic wedding music, I walked toward Ko Tan-la. When the MC asked if I was willing to take her as my wife, I smiled and answered loudly. I do. In my entire life, the only thing I had ever disobeyed my family over was my relationship with Lu Nguyen. I always thought that since I'd been influenced by my parents, my judgment couldn't be that bad. Reality proved otherwise. My taste in choosing a partner was truly terrible. 6 years of obsessive love ended not only in total loss, but with deep wounds. I had always been reckless, but I'd never been hurt this badly before. The wedding ended perfectly. My parents didn't ask why the bride had suddenly changed. Instead, they lovingly escorted me and Ko Tan-la to the bridal suite, reminding me to cherish the person beside me. As soon as they left, Ko Tan-la rushed me to the hospital. The doctor examined me thoroughly and discussed several scar treatment options after healing. From start to finish, Ko Tan-la frowned deeply, her hands clenched. My sister returned from our parents' place, her face full of anguish. I smiled and gently smoothed the wrinkles from their brows. It's okay, the doctor didn't say it couldn't be treated. Scars on a man are kind of cool anyway, and it's not even on my face. Can you two stop frowning now? I said it lightly, just to keep them from worrying. But my sister still found out the truth. After all, Lu Nguyen's wedding had descended into chaos beyond anyone's expectations. She went insane trying to call me. When she couldn't reach me, she called my sister, as if grabbing the last straw. My sister jumped up the moment she saw the call and cursed into the phone. You vicious woman, who gave you the nerve to hurt my brother? I'm telling you, if you don't give an explanation, I won't let this go. Beside her, Ko Tan-la let out a cold laugh and said something so softly I almost didn't hear it. Blood must be repaid with blood. There's no need for her explanation. I startled and turned toward her. Her red lips were tightly pressed together, just as before, but her eyes were narrowed now, like a predator locking onto its prey. Tanla, what did you just say? I was afraid she might actually do something reckless for my sake. She smiled at me, her eyes sparkling. Husband, I said, you look very handsome today. I couldn't help but blush. After my sister finished yelling, she hung up, still furious, and insisted on going to High City. Before I could stop her, Ko Tanla pulled her aside to talk. After a short while, my usually explosive sister was completely soothed. Ko Tanla was the first person outside our parents who could calm her down when she was angry. I felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity with her, as if she had always belonged to my family. Before taking me home, she asked the doctor countless questions about precautions and dietary restrictions. On the way back, I couldn't help asking how she managed to appease my sister. She only smiled and said nothing. For some reason, I silently lit a candle for Lu Nuyen in my heart. After all, earlier that day, I had already made her shine brightly enough. When I was holding my wedding, Lu Nuyen should have been starting hers too. But because she deliberately injured me, and because So Hin Kiam's mother was implicated in the kidnapping, the police arrived at the wedding with arrest warrants and took both of them away. So Hin Kiam panicked and screamed at the officers. What nonsense are you talking about? My mother is just a weak old woman, how could she kidnap Thien Pham? A healthy young man? How much did he bribe you to come here and frame my mother? As for Nuyen hurting Thien Pham, that's because he wanted to extort my mother. Nuyen was just acting in self-defense in an emergency. Why aren't you arresting Thien Pham instead of us? In response to his absurd accusations, the hotel staff I had bribed immediately presented all the evidence. Nothing was omitted, including the recorded conversation between him and Lu Nuyen in the stairwell. The fake medical records bought online exposed the false illness his mother had been pretending to have. When So Hin Kiam realized everything had been exposed, he went berserk and smashed the projector, trying to block everyone's view. But he couldn't stop the evidence from appearing one by one. For 6 years, although Lu Nuyen had refused to meet my family, all our close friends knew that I was her official boyfriend. Everyone had already been wondering why her wedding groom had suddenly changed. So Hin Kiam and his mother still tried to deny everything, insisting the evidence was fabricated by me to smear them. But amid the murmurs of the crowd, Lu Nuyen slowly regained her senses. She turned and slapped So Hin Kiam hard across the face. All of this is real, isn't it? So Hin Kiam was still trying to explain to the police about how Lu Nuyen had injured me when that slap landed squarely on his face, leaving him completely stunned. Nuyen, you dared to hit me? He stared at her in disbelief. I did all of this just because I wanted to marry you. From beginning to end, you were willing, I never forced you. Lu Nuyen's eyes reddened with fury as she lunged at him, striking him again. You bastard, how dare you lie to me? The police had lost all patience. They forcefully separated them and took them away. So Hin Kiam was left screaming hysterically, but no one felt any sympathy for him. Lu Nuyen, still dressed in her white wedding gown, was pushed into the police car. She looked like a complete farce. Because she had injured me, I had undergone a formal injury assessment while hospitalized. In truth, the wound wasn't extremely severe. The doctor said I was lucky, no tendons or bones were damaged. If it had been even a little deeper, my right hand could have been ruined. I couldn't swallow this anger. Even if she were only detained for a few days, it would still be worth it. She could choose not to love me. She could choose not to marry me. But she had no right to humiliate me like that. Ko Tanla felt the same way. So when Lu Nuyen was released from temporary detention 15 days later and came looking for me, there wasn't a single place on her body that wasn't injured. Ko Tanla said she must have offended someone inside and had been taught a lesson. Lu Nuyen looked at Ko Tanla holding me, Her face twisted with anger. But when she turned back toward me, her expression softened into something affectionate, so fake it made my skin crawl. To Thien Pham, I know I was wrong. But how could you turn around and marry someone else so quickly? You and her, are you just putting on an act? No. I raised my hand, intertwined my fingers tightly with Ko Ton Lee's, and said calmly. Let me introduce her. This is my legally wedded wife. You were probably too busy on your wedding day to come drink our celebratory wine. The dazzling wedding ring made Lu Nguyen squint reflexively. Then, in the next second, her gaze fell on the ugly red scar on the back of my hand. To Thien Pham, that scar? She broke down. I'm sorry. I never thought that stab would hurt you so badly. I was wrong. I've already filed for divorce. From now on, So Hin Kiem and I have nothing to do with each other. He deceived me. That's why I made an unforgivable mistake. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I just want a chance to spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Is that okay? I had thought she came to accuse me of being heartless, of sending her to detention without regard for our past. I never expected her to repent like this. I was so stunned I didn't know what to say. There's nothing to make up for, I said flatly. From now on, we go our separate ways. I pulled Ko Tonla and turned to leave. Lu Nguyen rushed forward and blocked me. To Thien Pham, you married like this just to take revenge on me. I really was irresponsible to myself, but I know you love me. That's why you hate me this much. Believe me, I'll divorce So Hin Kiem immediately. Then marry you. I'll find the best designer and remake our wedding dress. We'll have a perfect wedding. I looked at the haggard woman in front of me and said coldly. What you do has nothing to do with me. I've already had my perfect wedding, with my wife. And you are still someone else's wife. Please stay away from me. When Lu Nguyen heard me call Ko Tonla my wife, her eyes turned bloodshot, her face twisted with rage. To Thien Pham, how can you be this cruel? 6 years of feelings, you say let go and just let go? Do you deserve yourself? Do you deserve the 6 years I gave you? I felt like I just heard a bad joke. I laughed. Seeing me laugh, Lu Nguyen thought she had moved me. She reached out, wanting to look at the back of my hand. I was about to pull away when Ko Tonla grabbed my hand instead, and slapped Lu Nguyen twice. Husband, she said coolly, you don't hit women, but I can. I can't let her dirty your hands. Those familiar words left Lu Nguyen dazed. Her raised hand slowly fell limp. To Thien Pham, I understand now. You're taking revenge on me. But I already said I'd marry you. Why couldn't you wait just a little longer? You knew So Hin Kiem's mother was lying to me. Why didn't you tell me the truth? If I had known, how could things have turned out like this? And I even had Secretary Trong keep an eye on you. If you hadn't raced off and ditched them, how could you have been kidnapped like this? Even now, she still believed everything was the fault of So Hin Kiem and his mother. But clearly, the biggest culprit was her. I reminded her coldly. I told you, you just didn't believe me. And as for why your secretary lied, you'd better go ask him yourself. Lu Nguyen froze. Memories surged back, and pain spread across her face. She finally remembered that I had told her I'd been kidnapped by So Hin Kiem's mother, Min Van, and that I'd also said she was putting on an act. She immediately called Secretary Trong to question him. On the other end of the line, he hesitated for a long time before admitting that So Hin Kiem had told them they didn't need to follow me anymore, and they never expected things to end up like this. Lu Nguyen fired Secretary Trong and the 2 bodyguards on the spot. She clutched her head, tearing at her hair, trying desperately to explain, to hold on, but not a single word came out. After a long while, she murmured in confusion. Why did we end up like this? We clearly loved each other so much. You clearly said you would only marry me. Watching the backs of Ko Tonla and me fade into the distance, she finally collapsed to the ground, clutching her head and sobbing. A woman who, even now, still didn't know where she had gone wrong. She wasn't worth my pity. I only felt heartache for the 6 years of sincerity and youth wasted on someone like her. I thought Lu Nguyen would finally stop harassing us. But the very next day, she ran to my parents and my sister and knelt down to repent. She knew that I had always truly listened to my family. If my sister hadn't stopped her in time, my mother might have found out that her precious son had been bullied by his ex-girlfriend to the point of nearly losing the use of his right hand. When Ko Tonla and I went to have a meal with my parents, we happened to run into my sister, her combat power fully unleashed, dragging Lu Nguyen toward the neighborhood trash bins and violently shoving her to the ground. From the start, Lu Nguyen clearly hadn't been able to let go of So Hin Kiem. Yet she still wanted to cling to my younger brother. She clung on, yet didn't know how to cherish. A woman this despicable would only ever regret things once she lost them. Who are you putting on this deep, emotional act for now? My sister sneered. Lu Nguyen collapsed to her knees, just like she once had before my sister, swearing she would only love me for the rest of her life. But this time, no one believed her anymore. She crawled toward me on her knees, trembling, begging me to give her another chance. Before I could say anything, a man in an agitated emotional state suddenly broke free from the security behind him and charged forward. He plunged a knife into Lu Nguyen's back. "You're so heartless," So Hin Kiem roared. "My mother gave up her life for us. And you still want to divorce me? I'm telling you, here, there's only widowhood, no divorce." Blood splattered all over So Hin Kiem's face, but he seemed completely unaware. Afraid Ko Tonla would be traumatized, I hurriedly wrapped my arms around her and ran home. My sister also rushed back to stop our parents from seeing the blood-soaked scene. Before the elevator doors closed, I saw Lu Nguyen struggling frantically against So Hin Kiem. Later, neighbors said both of them were rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. They survived. But So Hin Kiem's hand was permanently crippled, he would never be able to hold a knife again. Lu Nguyen's lung had been pierced. She was hospitalized for over a month before being discharged. Only then did I learn that So Hin Kiem's mother, unable to accept going to prison, had taken her own life during a mental breakdown. She left behind a letter, expressing hope that Lu Nguyen and So Hin Kiem would live well together. She had even already chosen a name for her future grandson. But her final wish never came true. Lu Nguyen sued So Hin Kiem for intentional injury and eventually divorced him. My sister worried that hearing all this would make me sad and urged me to let go of the past and live well with Ko Tonla. I smiled, pulled Ko Tonla into my arms, and kissed her hard. "You're worrying too much. With such a good wife, of course I know how to cherish her." Ko Tonla blushed, embarrassed, and scolded me for fooling around when our parents were watching. Seeing how affectionate we were, my parents pulled my sister away and told her not to disturb us, so we could enjoy our world of two. That's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to China Story Tales, and stay tuned for more stories.